Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 20 of season 5 of our F1 22 My Team career mode. Yes, this weekend we're back in Portimao, the second running of the Portuguese Grand Prix here on F1 22. Of course, if you missed out on the last video from Mexico, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Of course, quite a crazy race weekend from the Mexico City there. Of course, does often create some pretty chaotic races. But as we head in towards this weekend, though, 3 rounds to go of the championship. We are all but mathematically out, though, of the Drivers' Championship. Of course, Charles Leclerc leading the way 1 point between him and Lando Norris. So I have really got to become the Valtteri it's James, the Rubens let Michael pass for the championship kind of driver in these last few races. Portugal today, Brazil later on this week, and then of course the season finale out in Abu Dhabi at some point, probably next weekend, I would imagine as well there. But I know I keep getting asked it as well by you guys. I will be doing some polls over the next few days on the channel. We're going to be voting on who's going to be our engine supplier for the final season and who you want to be my teammate. So if you haven't already clicked that notification bell, please do make sure you do so you don't miss out. And also quickly before I get, hopefully later on this evening I'm going to be going live over on my Twitch channel. We're going to be doing some more open lobbies and some F1 shenanigans once again. So yeah, I'll leave a link down in the description below. Let's get into this thing. Well, that is certainly not the way we wanted to start the weekend there. Esteban Ocon quickest ahead of Charles Leclerc. We did our first lap on the set of the medium compound tyres, and the second lap ran out on softs. Charles Leclerc blocked me late on in the run, and we've missed out half a second away from fastest there. Is only good enough to put us P17 9 thousandths behind Daniel Ricciardo in his Ferrari. We're out in Q1 for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Well, we've just got to do damage recovery in the race, I suppose, but it's been a long time since I've been out that early on in a session.
Welcome along then to Portimao, one of the busiest towns in the Algarve and a breathtaking destination that brings tourists from all around the world to the shores of southern Portugal. Today it's the backdrop for the latest round of the Formula One World Championship, and with a circuit this wide, we could be in for a lot of exciting wheel-to-wheel action today. A lap of Portimao is 2.9 miles long and is made up of 15 turns, 9 right-handers and 6 left-handers. It's been described as a roller coaster with a lot of elevation changes. There's more than one blind summit, and the conditions today aren't going to make visibility any better. So drivers are going to have to be on the ball if we're to avoid a safety car here today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Guan Yu Zhou completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Perez, Pierre Gasly and Drugovich, Tsunoda, Stroll, Mick Schumacher and Valtteri Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Ocon, Daniel Ricciardo and Albon, Yuri Vips, Deruvala, Mr. Monaco and Nicholas Latifi, Ticktum, Schwartzman, Théo Pourchaire and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Natalie Pinkham, good to have you with us here today. Your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? As a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
Only 3 races left. You still have a chance of the title, but going to need some special performances. See what you can do, mate.
Well, I love Mark's optimism, but yeah, we have already decided the ship has sailed on our championship hopes. Wet to dry, wet to dry. This race, we could be in for an absolute barnstormer today. We'll have to wait and see. Either that or we get an engine failure 5 laps in there. But sometimes the intermediate conditions play into our hands. Other times it completely screws us. Only time will tell what will happen today here in Portimao. But this is going to get quite interesting, I feel.
We anticipate an end to this rain in around 5 minutes.
Okay. Could it have been worth doing a Marcus Winkelhock here and boxing straight onto... I mean, if you could on F122, that'd be so cool. But it might have been genuinely worth starting this race on dries. Well, we're certainly not starting where I would want, and I think navigating turn 1 is going to be quite a challenge as well. But yeah, if the rain, you know, arrives and leaves in the way it's predicted, this is going to be all about strategy today. One lap can make all the difference in so many instances here. Look at this then, ready. 5 lights on the grid then for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. And often we see the AI struggle on the launches in the intermediate conditions, and that's exactly what we've got there. Jan Daruvula just trying to put the power down as we head in towards turn 1. We've got Nicolas Latifi going for a send at the first corner. Can I try and find an avenue down around the outside? Yes, I can. Both Williams, though, creating a roadblock as we head down in towards turn 2 there. We'll try and have a look around the outside again. I've got about 6 red proximity arrows, but suddenly we're up then into P15 then, so 2 places gained off the start of this Grand Prix. We're going to have to go defensive on Jan Daruvula there, who clearly was adamant on trying to run into the back of me. Look how brave he is, though. Down around the outside on the brakes there. Alex Albon just having to back out from a battle with Esteban Ocon in front of me, but looks like Lando Norris has immediately got himself up then to P2. Of course, started P3 on the grid. We'll be in hot pursuit of our teammate Charles Leclerc throughout this afternoon. This is critical races late on in the championship. 1 point between Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris up to this point. It really has been a dramatic season between the pair of them, but yeah, like I said, we are still technically not out of this Drivers' Championship. We do need a win today, really, to give ourselves any kind of hopes heading into the final couple of GPs, and based on qualifying, you know, you could be led to believe that it's all going to be over this weekend. But, that being said, anything can happen here in Portimao. This is honestly giving me, I know it's the wrong way around, but the 2020 Portuguese Grand Prix vibes. Of course, remember that race, it started raining on the opening lap and both McLarens made their way to the front of the field, but Charles Leclerc still leads then come the end of lap 1, and we are up into P15. We've got to try and get round Albon. I'm going to concentrate early on in this GP, but I always feel like down into this hairpin I'm strong against the AI, and that's exactly what we'll do. Put Alex Albon then back down into P15 of this race. A nice little move there, not a particularly long sort of acceleration zone to make the move, but you just got to have full confidence that the car in front isn't going to turn in, as that's a lot of curve through the final corner. We do just about survive there, but look at the run Albon's got because of it to the outside of us. The Williams will go. Still going to be drag racing on the run back down towards turn 1. Can we just keep the nose there? No, Albon will swoop back through, and clearly even the Williams does not want to make it easy for me. It's going to be a long old day. In fact, the AI just giving themselves such a shallow run through the corner. Oh, before, as I could tell that time around, Albon was not going to give me any time of day through there. But yeah, I think it's just they give themselves such a shallow run at the top of the hill there with the double apex right. You can really kind of flick the car through and carry the speed down the undulation. I know I always say it when I come back here, but Portimao, I think, is the only track built in probably the last 25 years that feels like an old school circuit. Why don't they make racetracks like this anymore? Yellow flags though. Wonder who that is. Oh, it's an Alpine. It's Mick Schumacher, as he's clearly gone round somewhere. Don't know how he's managed that, but we're up another place. The only problem, of course, we've got is where this track is so traction limited and where the AI have traction control. I'm definitely at a disadvantage at the moment, but the rain is starting to ease, that's for sure. Will only be a matter of a few more laps before it's time to make the switch. Pulling away from Jan Daruvula behind, but yeah, we are very much at a disadvantage still. Portimao is an AI-friendly circuit. Look at that, just the way you're able to switch off that corner on the AI. We should be able to get to the inside of Alex Albon that time around. A little bit of a wobble, but again, we'll try and complete that move for the second time this afternoon. It's still raining at the moment, Mark. The track hasn't dried up yet. Maybe we'll never even switch to dry tyres. I'm now suggesting we come in onto a set of fresh tyres. It'll have to be softs if the rain's meant to be coming back in quite soon. Plus, it'll give us an advantage when it comes to grip levels as well. But yeah, it has taken slightly longer than I originally thought. See what the team is suggesting. They're saying softs, they're mediums. That's going to be the way we go there. Take a set of softs until the next wet period. And then who knows what we're going to do from there. But are we going to see other AI into the pit? Charles Leclerc's not. Lando Norris isn't. None of the top three are into the pit lane. But one of the Red Bulls certainly has. And so is Pierre Gasly. Just behind them. There's a lot of other cars a bit further back heading into the pit lane then. I always forget where the pit lane line is. It's there. We've pretty much nailed that as best as I sensibly could. But now we've got some split strategies then in this Grand Prix. A lot of cars, whether the teams were reluctant to double stack, I don't know, but might mean that we see a bit of a shift in the running order. I think Leclerc, the big three, had quite an advantage anyway, so I don't think they need to be too worried. As we had just, I think, blocked the Alpine of Lance Stroll there. Spam those gears, make sure I don't lose a place. We'll actually get even closer and maybe up close and personal. Whoa, with Oscar Piastri, as now the AI probably going to gain massively for about half a lap or so. There we go, DRS enabled then at the end of this lap. Luckily, we've just about been able to keep Gian Daruvula and Alex Albon at bay there as trying to close in the gap on Oscar Piastri. These are the laps where we've really got to go for it. Try and push in whilst we can there, as yet top two still in that order. There has been quite a spread of other cars. Trying to work out actually, who were we behind before we pit? I reckon, actually, yeah, they've got a big advantage out of this, the cars that stayed out one lap longer. I swear we were much, much closer. No, we're under P13. I can't really work it out. I think there's someone's gone round. I think that's Latifi behind. Weirdly, though, Ocon has made the switch onto hard tyres. So some of the AI, whether they just don't think it's going to rain or reckon it's going to take a long time, there are some mega differences in terms of strategy. Hard tyres on a greasy track are certainly going to leave Esteban Ocon vulnerable. His new fastest lap of the day. That's what we like to see. Hopefully we're going to be able to try and find a way around the McLaren car nice and quickly there, just like thread it through the first couple of turns. Sorry, up the inside of the hairpin. And yeah, those hard tyres have got nothing on them at the moment. Right on the outside we'll go up the hill. Try and give him a bit of a pinch. And we're now into 12th then, not far away from the points. I'm already then warning us about the next rain showers down the inside of Oscar Piastri. Okay, yeah. I mean, I felt like we got the car far enough alongside early enough there, as that's how you give the car room on the inside, Oscar. Yuki Tsunoda next up on the old hit list. I think, so all the cars that pit the same lap I did, I think they've gone softs. All the cars that pit a lap later, I think have gone hard tyres there, and you can still see how much it's costing Yuki Tsunoda as we wind our way around the outside of this Portuguese mountain there. Try and have a look round. No, can't quite find the grip there. Oh, Yuki's so slow. As we try and head down the hill, though, pretty much parked it through that penultimate corner. Can we try and switch him at the final turn there? Still got to be careful where you use the ERS out those final couple of turns. Up over the start-finish line, though. Now with the DRS to the inside of the AlphaTauri car will go, and surely this will be a done deal. So we head back down in at turn one. Slightly later on the brakes there, slotted by, giving the room. And we're up another spot there is Felipe Drugovich. He was having a worldie of a race up in P7. But again, struggling to defend on those hard compound tyres. You can see how much time Stroll and Ricciardo are losing behind him there. Looks like Stroll didn't time his run correctly. And we'll outbrake ourselves and clear Daniel Ricciardo. I don't know how I've done that. Oh, there we go. There's the flash. The rain is going to be setting back in again. So we'll try and find a way around Lance Stroll. We're still probably going to have a bit of a disadvantage against the track starts getting slippery, but up the inside will go on the Canadian there. That's that lack of traction. Of course, moaned about that enough last weekend in Mexico before the engine went bang once more, but we're only at 1/3 distance already in this race, and we could be in to make our second pit stop of the afternoon. I need to try and get past Felipe Drugovich though as we head back over the start-finish line, but I don't think I'm going to have enough this time round. If we get a nice run, we might be able to have a look up the inside through turn 3. It's turn 1 navigated using plenty of curb. No, not quite close enough that time. Surely we'll be able to get a run down this tiny little DRS straight there, and whether it's the inside or the outside. Look at Drugovic, huge slide as he tries to defend the place, but we will get to the inside of the Haas. Oh, we'll lock up slightly. Maybe just hit a damp patch there, and Drugovic will say thank you very much. Well, Felipe Drugovic, you can try and fight it as much as you like, but just the way that Haas car is sat, I think we should be able to get the move done once again there to the inside through the hairpin. Yeah, we'll get turned in on. Yeah, we'll continue to get turned in on. Kick the back end out, force him into giving up the place, and we're up into 7th then. Already starting to see some splashes on the screen though. I reckon it's going to be pit in lap. I've already set the tyres up to go intermediates. We are immediately starting to struggle. A little bit wide there, but Mark's saying that this rain is going to keep coming down heavier and heavier. I'm pitting the end of this lap, I don't care. There we go, DRS disabled. It's time. Charles again though staying out. All of the front runners staying out in this GP, but it was meant to rain really heavily when it did for this second time, so I'm still going to stick to my guns and peel back into the pit lane there. And look at that, Felipe Drugovic behind me is doing the same, so 3 of us gambling it nice and early there, and a few more cars further back are considering doing the same option there. Now I want it to absolutely bucket down over the course of this lap there, really try and bring us a bit closer to the front runners. Come on, don't give me a slow stop. 2.5. That's pretty good. Let's try and see then. Aston Martin's just out in front of us. Rain now, game lows, please. There we go. Charlie boy into the pit lane once again. So he's always 1 lap behind us, but I mean, we're taking loads of time. I know it's only an Aston Martin, but we're taking like 2 seconds out of him in the last sector. Yeah, definitely time to make that switch. Whoa, Teo Porcher, there was a big moment ending out in the final couple of corners. You can see how much time it's costing them. Aston Martin willing to double stack in this Grand Prix. We should re-emerge where we were. Yep, up in P8. Oh, I think a couple of cars have stayed out. I think that's what it is there. One of the Ferraris, I think, or Alfa Romeo even, has opted to stay out for an extra lap. But yeah, we are closing in those gaps. Dan Tickton there struggling around on this lap. Just seen him flash up on my MFD there. I think it was also, I want to say, Valtteri Bottas who'd stayed out 1 extra one. So we might be able to be, well, at least a whole lot closer to the Red Bull. We might even get the jump on him, as you can still see how hard we're pushing. As I mean, this race, we're not even halfway in yet. That's a lot of understeer at the final corner, but there is still a lot that is probably going to change before the end of this thing. That was scary. Nice little bit of rally cross through turn 2, and that'll give us a lot of understeer. Well, I don't know what's happening at the moment, but suddenly the AI are the ones seemingly struggling on the intermediate compounded tyres. They can be a little bit weird in their behaviour. If you start a race in the wet, then they struggle. Then they're fine. But if you go from dry to wet, sometimes they can be a little bit strange with the lack of performance there. But yeah, we're taking good time out of Bottas and Pierre Gasly in front of him there. Just look how much Bottas kicked the end out on that Red Bull car through turn 2 there, completely sideways. And a very good save there. That's some of the Finnish rallying blood in his veins. But yeah, we've got to try and find a way around him, because that Red Bull is definitely going to start costing us time. That's what I was wondering, whether it might be worth trying to make a switch over onto full wets at some point. Whoa, if this rain keeps going down the way it is, but I'm just getting stuck behind Bottas at the moment. I know I'm so much quicker around some of the lap, but we just can't find a way around him. Bottas is in. Bottas coming in then. Both Red Bull cars are in, so clearly they think it's too bad for the intermediate tyres. We've still got 12 more laps to go in this GP, and the rain was meant to stop before the end of this thing. Based on the weather forecast, we won't actually find out whether, I mean, they can't be going on to another set of inters, surely. Charles Leclerc into the pit lane as well. I'm going to guess we're going to see all of the front runners in. But honestly, I'm not convinced it's going to be worth it, because especially if the rain does abate, you're going to have to move back over to the intermediate tyres once more. We're only at 15% wet, so it's not a question of whether they'll get to the end. They absolutely will. But for the first time today, then, we are going to take the lead of the Portuguese Grand Prix. They will probably be faster than me. Oh, you can just see how hard we're struggling. That's what I mean. Look at that. Rain getting lighter. No, Charles come out on inters. The AI are two stopping the intermediate tyres. Why? This makes no sense at all. Mark's telling me go full wet. All the AI are pitting onto another set of intermediates. Red Bull have pit again. Are we now going to see them all box? I literally overtook an Aston Martin about 10 laps ago, and now I've gone and lap one. Charles into the pits again then, so we could have even just had a free pit stop and come on to the wet tyres. But yeah, I'm not convinced we're going to lose much time by staying on these. 10 laps to go here from Portimao. I mean, now all I'm trying to do is make sure we stay on the line that the AI are using. It's not too bad, but we jump off it. We are going to be understeering out badly. We've got a 30-second lead now pretty much over Charles Leclerc. Even if we lose 4 or 5 seconds a lap for the next few, the track's going to start drying out. Surely we can still hang on. I think our biggest problem at the moment is just trying to keep these intermediates in the right operating temperature. There's 7 laps to go then of this GP. The gap to Charles Leclerc even 17 seconds. This could genuinely be quite a close battle between us towards the end, depending on what happens to this track surface. Lap 27, 15 seconds that gap. This is going to be a race right to the flag.
The weather's certainly eased off for the time being, but we've still got a lot of standing water out there. We're happy for you to stay out on the inters for now.
That's exactly the radio message I wanted to hear. Charles even not taking as much time out of me this lap. Could the AI have to make the switch back to intermediates before this race is over? Yellow flag, someone going slowly. I think it's a Haas car. Oh, it's Felipe Drugovich after the mega race that he's had up to this point. Drugovich pulling over with just 6 laps to go here in Portimao. He looks to be out of it, and the Haas heartbreak. Well, 5 laps to go then. I mean, with the weather as well, this race has been so crazy and unpredictable. I'm not even convinced Arrow could have scripted this, but yeah, 5 laps to go. Charles now the gap 11 seconds, but he's taking about 2 seconds a lap out of me, so it still could come down to the wire. More minutes of rain. I mean, it already feels like it's stopping. Surely this could go back to intermediates. I'm guessing the AI is just reluctant to make the switch back so late on. Times are getting quicker every single lap. And you know what? This time around we pulled away from Charles. I reckon it's worth pitting again for them. I reckon we've made the wise call, but I also get Charles probably doesn't want to, in case Lando stays out behind him and doesn't lose much time. 3 laps to go, then I reckon the AI are gonna just try and stay out to the checkered flag then, but pulling away from Charles Leclerc once more. We have braved the storm this afternoon. We got a bit lucky with the weird strategies that the AI have gone with, but we have certainly done the impossible here. So Teo Porcher pulls out the way. Thank you very much, my friend. Is he going to dive bomb me down at the hairpin? That's the next question. Let's wait and see. No, Teo Porcher actually doing a good job. The words I've longed to hear throughout most of this afternoon. Final lap then, here from the Portuguese Grand Prix. Qualifying on Saturday was an absolute write-off. How on earth 18 cars can be covered by half a second? I will never quite understand. But we have braved the storm early on in the race, and then braved another one not long after that. In fact, the track was barely drying up, and the team were already warning us about when the rain was going to reappear once more. But yeah, then the AI, they took the gamble. They went over onto the full wets. They probably shouldn't have pit before that onto the intermediates again for some reason about halfway through this Grand Prix. But we played it cool. We lost bags of time for a few laps, but we survived the worst of the conditions today. And technically, I think this win will only just keep us in with a shot of the Drivers' World Championship as we head into Interlagos next weekend. But it could be that we get knocked out of it in the sprint race most likely, because I think we're going to be about 60 points back with 60 points available here. Kevin Magnussen just in front of me as we ran through the final couple of corners. I think the Aston Martin doesn't want to do the extra lap either, and who can blame him? It has been a tough old race this afternoon from Portimao, but from 17th on the grid as we round the final corner, it's going to be our first victory here in Portugal. Get in there.
Oh, did I win? Or did I win? Woo-hoo! Come on!
Ah,
victory today then, but the championship as well. What a spectacular season they've had. Congratulations to the whole team. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Rain always has the potential to liven up a race and mix up the order, and they've taken full advantage of that to claim the victory today. It's a bit of a lottery when the conditions are like this, but they've managed to stay on the circuit and have come out on top.
Here comes your top three, making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One. So let's review the drivers' standings. Charles Leclerc, currently leading the championship standings, extends his lead even further with this result. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone did a better job today.
With that result, the sport's newest team can no longer be touched at the top of the table. What an incredible journey this has been for a team many had written off a short time ago. They are the Formula One World Champions. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Portuguese Grand Prix with 2 races to go. The Constructors' Championship is ours once more there, but 17th on a 2-stop strategy against the AI doing 4 stops. Really, it was the miracle that we needed throughout the entirety of this Grand Prix there. We come through for the win ahead of Charles Leclerc. Lando Norris in P3 means, yep, Charles actually beats Lando for the first time in quite a few Grand Prix there. Zhou Guanyu, Sergio Perez, Gasly, Bottas, Tsunoda, Ricciardo and Stroll rounding out our top 10. And that does mean in the championship, 54 points back. So we need to win the sprint race in Brazil and hope that Charles finishes 3rd or lower for us to have any chance at the championship as we head into the Brazilian GP next weekend. But I think it's a question, yeah, it is when, rather than if there. Perez and Ocon now tied on 155 points. Zhou Guanyu and Ricciardo now tied on 142. It is all still to play for P4 in the championship a little bit further back. And Stroll once again rejumps Mick Schumacher in their little battle there. But yeah, 114 points with just, what, 100 or so available in the last couple of Grand Prix as well. McLaren 4 points ahead of Red Bull as we head into the final 2 races. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will be back very, very soon when Formula One returns to the Brazilian Grand Prix. Sprint race weekend, that is going to be exciting. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.